Kathy Locke with Toyota Cruisers and Trucks Magazine. I'm here with Matt from Ontrail Training.
How you doing today, Kathy?
I'm good, how are you?
Doing great.
I just have a couple questions as far as your training.
Yeah.
What got you involved in doing on-trail training?
You know, it all started for me, I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, did a lot of off-roading out there and moved to Vail. And in the spring, I saw it was actually a bright yellow first-gen 4Runner with a third-row seat built in it and this kind of janky bikini top on it. And I said, they pay people to go out and do that. I want to do this. Went, called them up, got trained by a guy who started 2 weeks before me. And the next day, I was an off-road guide. You know, for me, the four-wheeling is almost kind of secondary. For me, getting out there with the people and watching the enjoyment happen with them, you know, it was always guiding, that was the big part. And now that I'm instructing with it, watching them just like that obstacles set we went down through down there. Watching that sense of accomplishment happen and watching that just face change from kind of terror going into to, I just nailed that thing. So we're out in the Pike San Isabel National Forest right now. We are on a trail called Slaughterhouse Gulch. It's Forest Service Road 101 and 105. We're on the 105 section right now. I use this trail for a lot of my classes. One, proximity to Denver, it's nice and close. Two, it's just hard enough. I can get a really well-built rig through it and make that thing work a little bit, or I can get a completely stock vehicle through as well. A technique I use a lot of times is I'm getting through a line and I want to know where my wheels will be. I will walk up to the front of the vehicle and I will stretch my arms out to where the width of the tires are. Now, as I walk through the line, I know where my driver's tire is going to be and where my passenger tire is going to be going through that line. And as the terrain moves, I will move my arms up and down to get an idea of how much that suspension will flex going through it. My goal is to drive through that line with as flat of a suspension as possible. That's going to give me the best chance of getting through that with the least amount of impact to the vehicle. All right, so one of our most important things is how we position ourselves in the vehicle to keep ourselves stable in there and to keep good control over the vehicle. If I'm bouncing around in the vehicle, I don't have really good touch and feel to those pedals and to that wheel. So I need to do some things to stabilize myself in the vehicle a little bit. One of the really important ways I do this, and I will hear this in drivers all the time off-road, where their throttle is going the whole time and they're not steady pressure. They aren't doing what's called indexing their throttle foot. So I'm going to take my foot, and you can actually see where the carpet's worn there from me doing this, and get my foot wedged all the way against the side. I've now got contact from about mid-calf, all the way down through my heel, all the way out to my pinky toe is in contact with the vehicle. So now as the vehicle bounces and moves, my foot moves with it. I'll always have thumbs up on the wheel. There's something that happens off-road called bump steer, and we'll get into why this happens a little later on. But as I go over terrain, this wheel will start turning. If I have my thumb wrapped around the steering wheel and that wheel turns and my elbow comes into contact with the armrest, my thumb gets bent sideways like that. Apparently it is very painful. I've seen it happen out on trail. I don't want it to happen to me. So always thumbs up. I like to shuffle steer as I'm out there too. None of this stuff, save this for the grocery store, none of this cross arm stuff. Now I get to that point and that bump steer happens, I can't control the wheel. Shuffle steering, I always have two hands in control of the wheel. So as I'm turning right, what I'm doing is this right hand is pulling the wheel down, left hand just slides along the wheel, meets it at 6 o'clock, picks the wheel up there, pushes it to 12 as this hand kind of resets. And I've always got control over the wheel as I go through.
What do you hope people get out of your training? Like what is the most, besides just skills, like what are you hoping they get out of this?
I want to see them come away with a little more confidence off-road, a little more respect for the trails we are, all use out here, a little better understanding of kind of what their vehicle can do, what their capabilities are, and that they're actually a lot better than this, than they thought they were.
So you even got me at what, 30
Yeah, get you up to about a
degrees?
30-degree tilt.
That was
Yeah,
that was
get you feeling a little
terrifying too.
uncomfortable.
But it also gave me a huge understanding of when I am leaning, I'm still good. I still have plenty of leaning space to go. So it makes me very aware now of what my vehicle, how far I can actually go on that, and it's not as terrifying as it was.
Yeah,
So.
that's the big takeaway I want a lot of folks to have is the vehicle is much more capable than a lot of times the driver is. And getting folks to understand how far I can lean it, how big of a ledge I can go up, how I can maintain momentum, really goes a long way.
Awesome. What is your biggest pet peeve of off-roaders now?
You know, my biggest pet peeve, and is a lot of, I'm on the board of directors at Stay the Trail, and I see a lot of people out there really abusing our trail systems. You know, that little mud hole we went through earlier that built a bypass around there, driving over trees. That's really the thing that really kind of irks me the most out here. You can act very responsibly and keep this great condition for my kids to come out and enjoy and their kids, or we can trash it and it won't be here in 10 years.
What other classes do you offer for on-trail training?
You know, I do a lot of private classes where we'll do one-on-one stuff. I do private group stuff too, clubs, organizations, all that kind of stuff. I teach 2 different recovery classes. There's an intro to recovery class that is all the nuts and bolts of recovery. And this is a winch, this is how it works, this is how we rig it, this is what we don't do with it, high lift jack, kinetic ropes, max tracks, pull pal, how to use all that stuff. The advanced recovery, I teach at an off-road park down in Colorado Springs, and I go get stuck a bunch of different ways. And I kind of step back a little bit and let the students kind of take the lead there. All the stucks are designed with kind of little different traps and tricks in them that come up to little teaching points.
That may be my next one.
Yeah, no, it's a fun one. Got one of those, actually I put one of those up yesterday and it sold out in 2 hours. So,
Awesome.
quick.
Awesome.
And then I do some driving skills classes, which is a lot of what we did today.
Okay.
Get you out on the trail, teach you how the vehicle works, how four-wheel drive systems work, how differentials work, how to control those, what the vehicle's capable of, and then put you in some obstacles and get you through those.
Where can people get a hold of you? Where do they find On-Trail Training?
Yeah, you can find me right there at ontrailtraining.com. I'm on Facebook. I post a lot of video content on there, little tips and tricks. I'm on Instagram as well at Ontrail Training. Bulk of the stuff will be on Facebook. All the classes you can schedule right through the website. You go there, register, name, address, phone number, and credit card, and you're in.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for
Very
today's
much.
training. It was
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
I
my pleasure.
can't believe the stuff that I went over today
Yeah.
that I've been terrified of doing for a while.
Yeah.
So I definitely have some more confidence in that now. So see if I hit some more soon. Thank you.